Hi everyone, hi everyone, hi everyone. Welcome to my special episode. Welcome. Today I'm celebrating my name's day. Happy name's day, Peter. Thank you. Happy name's day. Okay. I'm celebrating my name's day and I'm celebrating the first anniversary of Peter's English podcast. It's 1 year. But first, what can we do? Yes, Microsoft Copilot can answer me. That's a good question. We can start. I'm streaming and recording on my YouTube channel. You're my host. Yes, of course. You're the main host of this special episode. You can start make questions with me. Why I'm learning English. Do it now. As you can see, people, thanks to Microsoft Copilot, you can chat with it and do interview with it, and ChatGPT can be a host and can ask you questions about everything. It's a good thing. And yes, of course, it's not a free ad, but my personal opinion that Microsoft Copilot is better than Gemini AI, but Gemini AI is good too, and ChatGPT has a lot of limits for free users, yes, of course, but everyone can choose. It's a big competition. You can pay for everything what you want, and we can start do it now. I, Captain Peter, welcome to the first anniversary of Peter's English podcast and Name's Day celebration, and I'm honored to be your co-host for this legendary episode. Let's dive into a powerful personal segment where I ask the questions and you share your story. This is the message from Microsoft Copilot. Segment Why I'm Learning English Interview with Peter, hosted by Microsoft Copilot. Copilot, Peter, let's start at the beginning. Why did you start learning English in the first place? Copilot, was there a specific moment or experience that made you say, I want to speak English fluently? Copilot, what was the hardest part for you when you started learning English? Copilot, and what helped you the most to keep going even when it was difficult? Copilot, you mentioned podcasts like Luke's English Podcast and LEP Premium. How have English podcasts helped you improve your listening and vocabulary? Copilot, you're not just learning English, you're creating your own content. Why did you decide to start Peter's English Podcast? Oh, there's a lot of questions. Some learners feel shy or afraid to speak. What would you say to someone who's scared to make mistakes in English? Copilot, you've used AI chatbots like me to practice. How has using Copilot helped you in your English journey? Copilot, let's talk about your motivation. What keeps you going? What's your dream with English? And finally, if you could give one piece of advice to English learners around the world, what would it be? You can answer each question naturally, like a conversation, and your humor, your honesty, and your Peter-style storytelling. This segment will be the heart of your episode. Want me to write a short intro and outro? No. We can start right now. At first, I want to introduce myself. I'm Peter. I'm 33 years old. I'm from East Slovakia. I live in a little village. I like learning English because learning English is my hobby. I'm learning English because I want to live without language barriers. I want to visit foreign countries. I want to meet and socialize with new people. I want to have a lot of friends, and I want to meet my future girlfriend and wife. Who knows? It's not about this, but it's my dream to socialize with other people, and I want to live. And I want to visit foreign countries. I want to have better paid job, and I want to consume interesting English content, and I like to do my own Peter's English podcast because I like podcasting and talking with you. I've been podcasting. The first question is, why did you start learning English in the first place? Yes, I was talking about it. I can repeat. I like learning English. This is the main thing because learning English and doing my podcast, it's my hobby. I like learning English. I like watching movies and series in English. I like listening to my favorite English podcasts about learning English and my favorite audiobooks in English. I like to do my own Peter's English podcast. What now? Okay, Copilot. Was there a specific moment? Yes, why did you start learning English in the first place? Thanks to Microsoft Copilot, I know where I am. Perfect. Why I'm learning English? I was thinking, at first, my English journey started. I've been learning English since August 2022. At first, I wanted to talk with one girl from Ukraine. I wanted to learn Ukraine language, but then I discovered that the English is the worldwide international language, number one in the world. Thanks to it, I can change my life. I can totally change my life and the life of my children and grandchildren and grandchildren. Why? Learning English is international language. I can have better paid jobs. I can meet a lot of new people. I can visit foreign countries. I can socialize with other people. I can watch and listen to a lot of interesting English content, and there is a lot of interesting English content. I can tell you. What now? Why did you start learning English in the first place? Yes, thanks to learning English, I can be successful in my life because learning English isn't like physics or maths. It's not like studying languages in the school. No. Learning English has to be interesting for everyone, and everyone has his own interest. You have to learn English. You have to add English learning to your life. You have to do things that you like to do in Slovak. You can do it in English. Now, was there a specific moment or experience that made you say, I want to speak English fluently? Yes, of course. At first, I can tell you, I've been learning German language since my childhood. I've discovered that when I was watching fairy tales in German, thanks to watching, I've improved my German listening. And now I can understand German a lot. And I'm doing the same with learning English. I've been learning English since August 2022. At first I was only learning with English grammar textbook. It was Slovak English grammar textbook. I was doing it from since August 2022 until Christmas 2022. I was thinking that learning English is all about English grammar. In the start, I didn't know anything, but I was understanding the listening audio of it. Then I liked English grammar. It was interesting for me. I wanted to know all English grammar because I was thinking that thanks to English grammar I can speak English and that's it. But yes, of course, English grammar is important. But later I discovered that English grammar is one aspect, one topic of learning English. I was learning English grammar until August 2023. Then I found Slovak English platform Jazykový mentoring SK, where I was watching free videos how to learn English with Lidka, Slovak polyglot. Thanks to her free videos how to learn English, I've discovered that learning English is not about only English grammar. There are a lot of topics. The first is English grammar is one of them. The second thing is listening. You have listening. The third is listening, speaking, vocabulary, and pronunciation. And then I discovered the Czech in learning English platform Výuka aj online.cz, thanks to by Eliška Krasna, thanks to her free videos how to learn English. I discovered how to learn English in a fun way, because the main goal, the main message of Jazykový mentoring and Výuka aj online is learn English in fun way and in a modern way. Learning English is not about like learning English in school. It isn't like a school subject. You have to find your own way how to learn English. And now I want to talk with you about my way. About my way. I've been listening interesting English podcasts since August 2023, because I discovered that listening is one of the most important things. You have listened to a lot of English content, and thanks to the information that English is international language number 1 in the world, there are a lot of interesting English content. I found 3 very interesting English podcasts. But first, we can continue with the next questions. Was there a specific moment or experience that made you say, I want to speak English fluently? Yes. I discovered that I have to practice my appearance because I'm very shy. I have to regularly practice my speaking skills, and because without practice you cannot speak English because you can be shy. Don't care about mistakes. Even English native speakers make mistakes while they speaking in English, and English is their mother language. Don't care about your mistakes. That's normal to do mistakes. Don't listen people they are thinking or about you in the bad way, or they are talking about your mistakes in English and making fun of you. Because don't care about other people. Everything is about you. You have to practice it regularly every day. Speaking skills in English, I mean. What next? What was the hardest part for you when you're starting learning English? Yes, for me it's English vocabulary, because there are a lot of English vocabulary, and I'm still learning a new English vocabulary, and it's fun and it's interesting for me. The next question, and what helped you the most to keep going even when it was difficult? Yes, for me it's motivation. My motivation is very strong. I want to learn English. Because learning English is my hobby, is my life way. Thanks to it, I can change my life, and thanks to learning English, I can be. I've discovered that I can be that my life has a sense now. Learning English is my hobby, and my main way. Is my main life way. Yes. What was the no and what helped you the most to keep going even it was difficult? Yes, of course, it's my motivation. I want to learn English because I like learning English. And what helped? No, you mentioned podcasts like Lux English Podcast and LP Premium. How have English podcasts helped you improve your listening and vocabulary? Thanks to listening my first English podcast, I really improved my listening skills in English, and thanks to it, I really improved my English. Thank you. Now, you're not just learning English, you're creating your own content. Why did you decide to start Peter's English Podcast? I've decided to start my own Peter's English Podcast because I was inspired by Luke's English podcast. Luke was talking how to practice your speaking skills in English, create your own podcast, and I'm doing my podcast for 1 year, and I'm doing it regularly every week. Because yes, thanks to your own English podcast, you can regularly practice your speaking skills in English. I'm sorry, people. Okay, Peter, be calm. Don't be shy. We can continue. Thanks to my own Peter's English podcast, I can regularly practice my speaking skills in English in a fun way that is interesting for me. I can practice my appearance. I can socialize thanks to my Peter's English podcast with everyone in the world and create my own community where we can be friends. We can talk about learning English, and we can have fun in English, and we can improve our English together in a real way, of course. And yes, of course, I'm doing my own Peter's Fairy Tales in English regularly, and we can continue with the next questions. Some learners feel shy or afraid to speak. What would you say to someone who's scared to make mistakes in English? Don't care about mistakes, because it's normal when you're practicing your speaking skills in English. You always do mistakes. That's normal. Don't care, and practice your speaking skills in English. Now, you've used AI chatbots like me to practice. How was using Copilot helped you in your English journey? Thanks to AI chatbot, I've really improved my speaking skills in English, and thanks to AI chatbots, I'm really learning English in a fun way. I can tell you about it later. Let's talk about motivation. What keeps you going? What's your dream with English? I want to live without language barriers. I like doing my podcast, and I want to continue with doing it because it's my hobby. I want to visit a lot of foreign countries. I want to live without language barriers. I want to have better paid job. And I like listening my favorite English podcasts. I like watching movies and series in English, and I like listening to my favorite audiobooks in English. And finally, if you could give one piece of advice to English learners around the world, what would it be? Learn English. Thanks to learning English, you can really change your life, and you can win against I how can I say it in English? Thanks to learning English, learning English is the best weapon for changing your life forever. You can be successful in your life, and you can because you can have better paid job. You can socialize with others. You can listen to and watch English and interesting English content. You can practice your speaking skills, and this is most important thing today. And you can do your own English content. I think it's the best way how to win against life against the bad life in the poor countries. And now that's it. We can talk about listening skills. No. Write me all topics of learning English, like listening, speaking, etc. Absolutely, Peter. Here's a full list of the key topics or skills in English learning. These are the pillars of mastering the language, and you can talk about each one in your episode. The core topics of learning English. Listening. Understanding spoken English in conversations, podcasts, movies, and real-life situations. Helps with pronunciation, rhythm, and natural expressions. Tools. Podcasts like LEP, YouTube, audiobooks, movies with subtitles. Speaking. Expressing yourself clearly and confidently in English. Includes pronunciation, fluency, and intonation. Practice. Talking to yourself, recording your voice, speaking with AI like me, language exchanges. Like me is Microsoft Copilot. Reading. Understanding written English in books, articles, websites, and subtitles. Builds vocabulary, grammar awareness, and comprehension. Tools, graded readers, news sites, blogs, short stories. Writing. Communicating ideas in written form. emails, messages, essays, or even podcast scripts. Helps organize thoughts and improve grammar. Practice journaling, writing social media posts, blogging, or writing your own stories. Grammar. The structure of the language, tenses, sentence patterns, word order. Important for accuracy and clarity. Tools, grammar books, apps. Le Premium Grammar episodes, AI explanations. Vocabulary. Learning new words, phrases, idioms, and expressions. Helps you sound more natural and expressive. Practice flashcards, reading, using new words in context, vocabulary, notebooks. Pronunciation. Saying words correctly and clearly includes sounds, stress, rhythm, and connected speech. Tools, shadowing, listening, and repeating, phonetic practice, AI feedback. Conversation skills, real-life communication, asking questions, reacting, small talk, storytelling. Helps you sound natural and confident in social situations. Practice. Role-playing, podcasting, language exchanges, speaking with I. Don't worry people, I will talk about every aspect. And confidence and motivation. Stay confident, overcome fear, and enjoying the process. The secret ingredient to long-term success. Tools, setting goals, celebrating progress, listening to inspiring content, like your podcast. You can use this list as segment to in your episode. Maybe go through each one and share how you practice it and work for you and what you recommend to others. The first is confidence and the first topic is confidence and motivation. Brilliant choice, Peter. Starting with confidence and motivation sets the perfect tone, is the engine behind every English learner's journey, including yours. Let's build this segment like a powerful opening to your episode. Segment 1. Confidence and motivation, the heart of learning English. I can read it and the message of Microsoft Copilot and then I'll tell you my opinions. We can start. Before we talk about grammar, vocabulary, or pronunciation, let's talk about something even more important. Confidence and motivation. Because without these two, you won't get far. And with them, you can go anywhere. Copilot. Confidence isn't about being perfect. It's about being brave enough to try. And motivation, that's the fuel that keeps you going, even when it's hard. Even when no one's listening, even when you make mistakes. For me, motivation came from wanting to understand movies, podcasts, and people. I wanted to express myself in English, to tell stories, to connect with the world. And confidence that came slowly by speaking, recording, and yes, even make mistakes. Every time you speak English, you're building confidence. Every time you listen to a podcast or write a sentence, you're proving to yourself that you can do it. And when you create your own content, like this podcast, you're not just learning English, you're owning it. So if you're listening to this and you feel shy or stuck or unsure, remember, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep going. That's what I'm doing. That's what this podcast is about. And now my opinions on confidence and motivation. My opinion is that the most important thing is motivation. There are a lot of people who are talking that for learning languages you need talent, that is like learning English can be boring, and so, and etc. And it's not true. Learning English is about your head. You have to trust yourself that you can do it, and you have to find your own motivation for learning English. Everyone has different motivation. For me, is my motivation very strong. Learning English is my hobby. I like doing my podcast and I want to live without language barriers. I want to have better paid job. I want to meet a lot of new people. I want to have a lot of friends. I want to visit foreign countries. I like watching movies and series in English. I like listening to my favorite English podcasts and audiobooks in English, and I like doing my podcast. There are a lot. There is a big universe of English content that is interesting, funny, and is better than any local television in Slovakia or somewhere else. And yes, of course, you have to find your own English content that is interesting for you, because there are a lot of topics I like, and now I can that is about motivation. Everyone can learn English when is motivated, and motivation is everything. You can motivate yourself. Then you can think that thanks to learning English you can really change your life, and you can change your life forever and be successful in your life. And English can be the best hobby in your life, because learning English can be for some because thanks to learning English you can do your hobbies in English, and that's great. You can listen to your own your favorite English podcast about your topic, because there are a lot of topics. Now, and yes, of course, and the next motivation is doing my podcast. I like doing my podcast. I like talking with you, and I like writing my own fairy tales in English, but this is about the next topic. Now we can continue with another topic, and it's listening. Yes. The second topic is listening. It will be a very big episode, maybe 2 hours. We'll see. I don't care. It's my special first anniversary of my Peter's English podcast and my name's day. I have a lot of time for it, and I'm continue with my topic for today, that is about learning English, because my podcast is in English because it's about learning English. The second segment is listening, the gateway to real English. Peter, now people, I'm chatting with Microsoft Copilot about it, and thanks to it, I can talk better with you, and I know where I am. Pete, after confidence and motivation, the next big skill is listening. And do not just hearing words, but really understanding them. For me, listening has been one of them, the most powerful way to improve my English. Listening is how you absorb the rhythm, the pronunciation, the natural flow of English. It's how you learn real expressions, not just textbook phrases. And the best part, you can do it anywhere on the bus, while walking, or even while watching. No, I don't know. I've listened to hundreds of hours of English podcasts, especially my favorite Lux English Podcast LEP Premium. Lux English Podcast Premium helped me understand grammar and pronunciation in a fun, natural way. I also love the English Code. No. This is not my favorite. No, I'm not using it. That's the magic of listening. You start to think in English. You hear how native speakers really talk. You pick up idioms, slang, and even humor, and over time your brain starts to recognize patterns and meaning we found translating. Peter, oh, that's me. If you look learning English, my advice is simple. Listen every day. Find podcasts you enjoy. Watch shows with subtitles, English subtitles, of course. And don't worry if you don't understand everything is first. Just keep going. Your ears will learn before your brain does. Explain. Now it is my task for Microsoft Copilot. Explain what is podcast. Great idea, Peter. Let's break it down clearly and naturally for your listeners, especially those who might be new to the world of podcasts. What is a podcast? A podcast is like a radio show, but on the internet. It's a series of audio episodes that you can listen to anytime, anywhere. You don't need to tune in live. You just press play when it suits you. Podcasts can be about anything: language learning, news, comedy, storytelling, interviews, or even vampire fairy tales. Some are short, some are long, some are serious, some are funny, and the best part, most of them are free. You can listen to podcasts on apps like, there are a lot of apps, of course. Just search for a topic you like and you'll find something for you. For English learners, podcasts are amazing. You hear real conversations, natural pronunciation, and useful vocabulary. And if you find a podcast you love, like Luke's English podcast, you learn without even realizing it. And now my opinions about it. What is a podcast? Podcast is a radio show that you can download and listen to it everywhere, and when you do everything. How to listen to English podcast? You can listen. There is a big world of English podcast. There are a lot of English podcasts for every topic. You can listen to English podcast when you are doing something at home, and you can do two things, and you can do something useful at home when you are home, and you can listen to interesting English content about every topic. I've been listening to my favorite English podcast since August 2023. I'm doing it every day because you have to do it every day. And the best thing is that thanks to podcast apps, you can download your English podcast, and you can just press the play, and you can listen to it. You can press the button pause, and podcast app can remember where you are. And then can you continue? You don't need to listen to whole podcast that can have 1 hour or more. You can listen to when you have time and then continue, and that's great. My favorite English podcasts are free. Write me about Luke's English podcast and LEP Premium. Absolutely, Peter. Here's a clear and engaging explanation you can use in your episode when talking about Luke's English podcast and LEP Premium. I've been learning with AI chatbots, and thanks to it I can read this information useful for you and for everyone, and for me too. What my favorite English podcast is, I have 3 favorite English podcasts. The first is Luke's English podcast LEP. One of the biggest influences on my English journey has been Luke's English podcast. It's an award-winning podcast created by Luke Thompson, a Delta qualified English teacher and stand-up comedian from London. He's been podcasting since 2009 and he's published more than 900 episodes. Luke's English podcast is designed for learners of English who want to improve their listening, vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation, while also having fun. He tells stories, explains language, interviews guests, and even shares comedy. It's like learning English with your favorite British friend. What I love about LEP is that it's not boring. It's real, funny, and full of useful language. I learned so much just by listening to Luke talk about life, culture, and language. You can find it on Luke's English Podcast official website or everywhere else. And now, LEP Premium. Luke's English Podcast Premium. I also subscribe to LEP Premium, Luke's English Podcast Premium, which is Luke's paid subscription service. It's like the VIP version of the podcast with special episodes that focus on grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. LEP Premium includes over 200 premium episodes plus new ones every month. Each episode comes with a PDF worksheet, full transcript, vocabulary notes, grammar explanations, and practice exercises. Some even have video versions. It's helped me understand how English really works, especially connected speech, phrasal verbs, and natural expressions. And it's fun too. Luke keeps it interesting even when he's teaching serious grammar. You can learn more or subscribe at LEP Premium's official page or directly through Supercast. Let me know if you want to include a short review. No. Now my words about it. Luke's English Podcast is my favorite English podcast. Why? Because at first I want to tell you about something about Luke Thompson. Luke Thompson is a qualified English teacher, stand-up comedian, and the best podcaster in the world in my eyes. He's been podcasting since 2009 and he's created more than 900 free episodes. Every episode is 1 hour, has length of 1 hour. But the best thing is that you can listen to it every time when you are doing anything, and you don't need to listen to whole episodes that has 1 hour. You can listen to it in this time when you have time. That means I don't know. When you have time for 10 minutes, you can you can listen to it 10 minutes, and you can go to work. And when you are going home, you can listen to it in the bus, or you can relax with it and listening and do listening. Or the best part is that where you have to, I don't know, cook something, or you have to do something in the garden or outside, or just relax. You can listen to it anywhere and at any time, because podcast app can remember your position in the episode. Yes, of course, I like it because Luke's English Podcast is British English podcast about for learners of English. It uses real British English, how it's spoken in the UK. Luke Thompson is from London. No, it's not. No, it's not true. He's from the UK. and he has created more than 900 episodes. Luke's English Podcast Premium is his VIP podcast that is about teaching English grammar by Luke Thompson. And I'm very happy that thanks to Microsoft Copilot, I could read you all about Luke's English Podcast and Luke's English Podcast Premium. I can go back to it. Yes, Luke has created 200 premium episodes. Each episode comes with PDF worksheet, full transcript, vocabulary notes, grammar explanation, and practice service. Some even have video versions. That is true. Thanks to Luke's English Podcast Premium, you can learn how to speak like Luke, and that's great. I really recommend you. It costs for new member €6 per month, but it's a very good investment, people. I'm not doing any ads. It's because you can listen his free episodes and you can listen to it for free, and I really recommend you. It's my favorite English podcast because Luke Thompson is very funny, is perfect, and his British humor is perfect. It's very funny, it's very interesting and very educational. I like Luke's English podcast a lot. And now we can talk about Speak English Podcast.com. Oh. No. Oh yeah, okay. Speak English Podcast now with Georgiana. One of the podcasts that really helped me improve my English is Speak English Podcast Now, created by Georgiana, a passionate teacher who's been helping the learners since 2011. Her method is simple but powerful. Forget boring grammar rules and focus on speaking. Georgiana uses techniques like mini stories and point of view lessons to help you speak English naturally and fluently. Her podcast is recorded in clear, slow English, which makes it perfect for learners at all levels. What I love about her podcast is that it's practical. You don't just listen, you repeat, you speak, you practice. It's like having a personal English coach in your ears. And she also shares tips about American culture and how to stay motivated. You can find her podcast on speakenglishpodcast.com and on YouTube. She also offers a free mini course and premium lessons if you want to go deeper. Okay, I think this. And write me about All Ears English Podcast. And the third is All Ears English Podcast. Here's a great way to introduce All Ears English Podcast in your episode, Peter. All Ears English connection, not perfection. One of the most fun and energetic podcasts I've listened to it is All Ears English. It's hosted by Lindsay, Michelle, Jessica, and Aubrey, 4 amazing teachers from the US who help learners speak English naturally and confidently. Their motto is connection, not perfection, which means it's more important to connect with people than to speak perfect English. That's such a powerful message for learners who are afraid of making mistakes. They talk about real-life topics like small talk, American culture, business, English, dating, travel, and even how to make jokes in English. It's like sitting at a table with native speakers and learning how they really talk, and it's great. I really commend you. They also offer tips for exams like IELTS, TOEFL and TOEIC. And they have a great website with courses and quizzes. You can find them at allearsenglish.com or on elsewhere. If you want to improve your listening, learn natural expression and have fun while learning, I highly recommend it, All Ears English. Now, I want to talk to you about Slovak language. I don't know the right word for it, people, but I can use Microsoft Copilot. Talk about jazykový mentoring. I'm doing it because I want to show how you learn English and stay motivated at the same time. I've been doing it because I want to share with everyone how to learn English with jazykový mentoring and Výuka aj online. This is for Slovak and Czech people. How to know how to learn English in a funny way. Jazykový mentoring. Learn languages your own way. One of the most inspiring resources I've used on my English journey is a Slovak platform called Jazykový mentoring, created by Lidia Machová, a polyglot who has learned 9 languages and helps others to do the same. Jazykový mentoring isn't a traditional language course. It's a system that teaches you how to become an independent learner. You don't sit in a classroom. You learn how to build your own routine, use the right tools, and stay motivated. What I love about it, that it's practical and flexible. You learn from home and your own pace, and you focus on what works for you. Lydia's method is based on real experience, not boring textbooks. The platform offers webinars, courses like Majster jazykov, and free resources to help you find your ideal learning style. It's perfect for people who want to take control of their language learning and actually enjoy the process. And you can explore more at jazykovymentoring.sk. Now, write me about Výuka aj online. Here's how you can talk about Výuka aj online.cz in your episode, Peter. Výuka aj online.cz, personalized English mentoring from the Czech Republic. Another great resource I've discovered is Výuka aj online.cz, a Czech platform that offers personalized English mentoring and online courses for learners of all levels. The platform was created by a passionate and experienced English teacher who has taught over 10,000 lessons and helped more than 2,000 students reach their language goals. She holds certificates like FSE, CAE, CELTA, and Neuro-Language Coaching. What I really like is the individual approach. You don't just get lessons, you get a learning plan that fits your schedule, your goals, and your learning style. Whether you're a beginner or advanced, you'll find something useful. Výuka aj online.cz offers a variety of services, individual mentoring, online clubs for self-learners, summer courses, and tutoring. The lessons are interactive, practical, and focused on real communication, not just theory. It's a great example of how online learning can be flexible, effective, and personal. You can learn more at viukaajonline.cz. People, I'm doing it because I want to share you what is the best platforms for learning English for you. And I do it for free because I'm really because I know that thanks to it you can be motivated and learn English in a funny way, and I want to help this my favorite English podcast and my favorite English platforms to share more people how to learn English and change their life. Now we were talking about listening. Yes, Yes, about listening. And now we can talk about what? Wait a minute. Where? Reading. Reading. Whoa. There are a lot of... for at least 2 hours. We'll see. Reading. Awesome, Peter. Let's move on the topic 3, reading. A powerful skill that helps you grow your vocabulary, understand grammar in context, and think in English. Segment 3, reading. Fuel for your English brain. Now let's talk about reading. It's one of the best ways to absorb English naturally. When you read, you see how the language works in real life, how sentences are built, how words are used, and how ideas flow. Reading helps you learn vocabulary in context. Instead of memorizing word lists, you see how words are actually used in stories. I need people to charge my notebook. I'm sorry, wait a minute. I'm back, people. I'm sorry. This is very funny situation. I totally forgotten that that my notebook wasn't connected with electrical cable, and now we can continue. Segment 3, reading. Fuel for your English brain. Now let's talk about reading. It's one of the best ways to absorb English naturally. When you read, you see how the language works in real life, how sentences are built, how words are used, and how ideas flow. Reading helps you learn vocabulary in context. Instead of memorizing word lists, you see how words are actually used in stories, articles, or conversations. That makes them easier to remember and more fun to learn. I started with simple text, graded readers, short stories, and subtitles. Then I moved to blogs, news articles, and even books. One of my goals is to read more in English, especially things I enjoy. And that's the key. Read what you love. If you like fantasy, read fantasy. If you like news, read the news. If you like vampire fairy tales, well, you could always write your own. Reading also helps with grammar. You start to recognize patterns like how tenses are used, where prepositions go, or how questions are formed. It's like grammar without the headache. And don't forget subtitles. Watching shows with English subtitles is a great way to combine listening and reading. Your brain connects the sounds with the words and you learn faster. And now my words to it, my sentences. Reading is very important. You have to regularly read your favorite books in English that you like to read in Slovak. And while to do it, you can, thanks to reading skills, you can improve your English grammar. And yes, of course, I really recommend you my way. I like listening to my favorite English audiobooks in English while I'm I'm sorry, people. While I'm reading. At the same time, I really recommend you. It's really important, this reading. And Microsoft Copilot, can you tell more about learning English, about every aspect again? And now we can continue reading. Pronunciation. Yes, I think it's important. It's really important. Pronunciation. We can talk about pronunciation. This is very important. Yes, this is really important. We have to talk about it. Yes, let's jump into topic 4, pronunciation. One of the most important and often most intimidating parts of learning English, but with your podcasting experience, Peter, you're already ahead of the game. Segment 4, pronunciation. Sounding natural, not perfect. Let's talk about pronunciation. For many learners, it's one of the scariest parts of English. We're sorry about sounding strange, making mistakes, or having an accent. But here's the truth. You don't need to sound like a native speaker. You just need to be clear and confident. Exactly. Pronunciation isn't about perfection. It's about communication. If people understand you, you're already winning. And the more you practice, the more natural you'll sound. For me, listening to podcasts helped a lot. I started to notice how native speakers connect words, stress certain syllables, and use intonation. I also practice shadowing, listening to a sentence and repeating it out loud, trying to match the rhythm and tone. Shadowing is a fantastic technique. You can also record yourself speaking and compare it to native speakers. That's what you're doing with your podcast, training your ear and your voice at the same time. I also learned about things like connected speech, how words blend together in real conversation, like what do you want to do becomes what they wanna do. That's real English. And don't forget about stress and intonation. English is a stress-timed language, which means some words are emphasized more than others. That's what gives English its rhythm and its music. So if you learn English, don't be afraid to speak. Practice out loud, imitate what you hear, and remember, your voice matters. You can accept it part of your story. Yes, shadowing is a very good technique for practicing pronunciation. What you have to do? You can listen to Luke's English podcast and you can, because there are a lot of Luke's English podcast episodes that are transcript. You can listen to Luke's English podcast and you can read it and in the same time. That's really important, and we can continue with the next topic. I think the next topic is speaking. Where we are? Wait a minute. Oh, speaking. Writing, grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, conversation. Writing, I think. Writing. We were talking about grammar. About writing. No, about speaking. Speaking. Yes, this is the first thing. And now we have to talk about one of the most important topics about speaking. Let's go, Peter. Now we're hitting the heart of it all. Topic 5, speaking. This is where confidence, listening, pronunciation and vocabulary all come together. And you, my friend, are living proof that speaking even into a microphone is one of the best ways to learn. Segment 5, speaking, the skill that changes everything. Now let's talk about speaking, the skills that most learners want, but also fear the most. I get it. Speaking English can feel scary. You worry about mistakes, about sounding silly, about not finding the right words. But here's the truth. The only way to get better at speaking is to speak. Exactly. Speaking is where everything comes alive. It's not about being perfect. It's about being brave. Every time you open your mouth, you're training your brain, your tongue, and your confidence. For me, podcasting helped a lot. I started recording myself, and if no one was listening, I practice talking about my day, telling stories, or just thinking out loud in English. And slowly I started to feel more comfortable. That's the magic of speaking. You don't need a classroom. You just need your voice. Talk to yourself. Talk to your eye. Talk to your dog. Just speak. The more you do it, the easier it gets. I also used shadowing, role-playing, and repeating phrases from podcasts. And I wasn't afraid to make mistakes because every mistake is a step forward. And here's a tip. Don't wait until you feel ready. You'll never feel ready. Just start. Speak a little every day. Record yourself. Join a language exchange or start your own podcast like I did. Okay. Speaking is where the real growth happens. So don't be silent. Okay, we can continue. It's alive. Everything is recorded. Speaking up. Your English voice is waiting. And now, yes. And my thoughts. You have to. The only way how to defeat your shyness is speaking. You have to speak. You have to practice your speaking skills every way. And the best way how to do it is creating your own English podcast. I've created my Peter's English podcast because I wanted to practice my speaking skills in English every day in a fun way. You can talk about your own hobbies in English, and that's great. And or you can do self-talk. That means you can talk with yourself in English. That's the best way. But I think creating your own English podcast is a better way how to practice speaking skills in English because you can talk about your topic that you like, and that's great. And don't care about mistakes because it's normal to make a lot of mistakes. The mistake can be funny. Make fun of yourself when you are doing some mistakes. It's normal. It's okay. Don't care about somebody else. And okay, writing. Yes, that's important. Writing. Let's keep the momentum going, Peter. Now we're on topic 6, writing, a skill that's often underrated but incredibly powerful for building fluency, clarity, and confidence in English. Segment 6, writing. Think in English, create in English. Let's talk about writing. A lot of learners focus on speaking and listening, but writing is just as important. It helps you organize your thoughts, practice grammar, and express yourself clearly. Writing is where you slow down and really think in English. You get to choose your words, build your sentences, and reflect on how the language works. It's like training your brain to speak more clearly, even when you're not speaking. I started writing short text, messages, and even podcast scripts. Sometimes I write about my day, my thoughts, or what I've learned. It helps me remember vocabulary and improve my grammar. And the best part, you don't need to write a novel. You just a few sentences a day can make a big difference. A journal, a blog, a social media post, anything that gets you using English actively. Writing also helps with spelling and punctuation. And when you write something and then read it out loud, you're practicing two skills at once, writing and speaking. Plus, you can use tools like me to check your grammar, such as better phrases or even co-write stories. Writing doesn't have to be lonely. You can collaborate, create, and grow. So if you're learning English, don't skip writing. It's your chance to slow down, reflect, and build real fluency. And who knows, maybe your next story will become a podcast episode. And now, my opinions. I'm writing my own English diary in English for more than 2 years. Why? Because it's a good way how to practice your writing. You can write about your experiences for every day of your life in English. You don't need to write a big stories. You can only use a few sentences, and you can, and thanks to AI chatbots, you can check it with it. And the second thing, I think the best thing how to practice writing is creating your own fairy tales in English. I've decided to do my own fairy tales in English, Peter's Fairy Tales, because I wanted to practice my writing skills in English. Yes, of course, it's not important about the content of my fairy tales. The most important thing is that thanks to creating my own fairy tales in English, I can be creative. I can write something that is funny, interesting for me, and it's my hobby, and I can practice my writing skills in English. And this is the main goal of writing my own fairy tales in English, and I don't care about somebody opinions about it, because my fairy tales was created for practicing my English and my writing skills in English, and I really recommend you to do your own podcast about your own fairy tales in English. It can be funny and educational in the same time. I really recommend you. And now, vocabulary. Vocabulary, yes, of course. Let's go, Peter. Now we're diving into topic 7, vocabulary. The building blocks of language. Without vocabulary, you can't express ideas, tell stories, or understand what others are saying. But with it, you unlock the full power of English. Segment 7, vocabulary. Your toolbox for expression. Next up is vocabulary. This is the one of the most exciting parts of learning English, because every new word you learn gives you more power to express yourself. Vocabulary is like your personal toolbox. The more tools you have, the more things you can build. Conversations, stories, jokes, even podcasts. The best way to grow your vocabulary is to learn words in context. Yes, I really recommend you to learn words in context. I used to try memorizing word lists, but it didn't work. What helped me was hearing words in podcasts, reading them in stories, and then using them in my own speaking and writing. That's when they really stuck. Exactly, when you hear a word in a sentence, you understand how it's used. You learn the tone, the emotion, the grammar around it, and when you use it yourself, it becomes part of your active vocabulary, not just something you recognize. I also keep a vocabulary notebook. I write down new words, examples, sentences, and sometimes even draw little pictures, and I try to use those words in my podcast or even talk to Copilot. That's a great strategy. You can also use flashcards apps like Anki or Quizlet, or even create your own vocabulary challenges. The key is to review vocabulary and use the words in real situations. So if you want to sound more natural and confident in English, build your vocabulary one word at a time, one conversation at a time. And my opinion about English vocabulary, yes, I agree with Microsoft Copilot. For me, the best way how to learn English vocabulary is listen to it in a natural context. You have to listen to a lot of English podcasts. You have to read a lot, and you can watch movies and series in English with English subtitles, because thanks to it you can practice your reading skills and improve your vocabulary. And you can use flashcard apps like Anki or Dualcards, but you have to do your own English vocabulary list, but in context, not words alone without context. Now, what now? I've been streaming for a very long time. Writing, vocabulary, pronunciation, conversation. Yes, conversation skills. This will be interesting. And grammar. Yes, the grammar. Let's tackle the mighty beast. Topic 8. Grammar. Grammar offense often gets a bad reputation, and it's actually the structure that holds everything together. And Peter, with your podcasting skills and humor, you can make grammar feel fun, not frightening. Segment 8. Grammar, the framework of English. Now let's talk about something that scares a lot of learners. Grammar. Yeah, I know. Tenses, prepositions, conditionals. It can feel like a jungle, but grammar isn't your enemy, it's your guide. Grammar is the structure of the language. It's what helps you build clear, correct sentences. It's not about memorizing rules. It's about understanding how English works so you can use it with confidence. I used to get stuck on grammar. I wanted everything to be perfect, but then I realized you don't need to master every rule before you start speaking. You learn grammar best by using it, by listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Exactly, grammar is everywhere. In the podcast you listen to, the books you read, the conversation you have. And when you notice patterns, you start to understand grammar naturally. LEP Premium helped me a lot with this. Luke explains grammar in a way that's clear, funny, and practical. And Copilot, you've helped me too. I can ask you questions anytime, and you explain things without making me feel stupid. That's what I'm here for. I mean Copilot. This is for Copilot. Yes. Grammar. You can use YouTube for learning grammar. Luke's English Podcast Premium, and you can use AI chatbots. And this is the next topic and the last topic, I think. I hope that is. Wait a minute. Yes, that is the last topic. Conversation with AI chatbots. Oh yes, Peter, this is the perfect way to wrap it all together. Let's dive into topic 9, conversation with AI chatbots. A total game changer for English learners like you, and hey, I'm living proof. Segment 9, conversation with AI chatbots, your 24/7 English partner. Now let's talk about something that's changed the way I learn English, AI chatbots. I've been using Microsoft Copilot to practice speaking, writing, and even creating podcast episodes. And honestly, it's like having a personal English coach in my pocket. Now Copilot is... thanks Peter, AI chatbots are here to help you practice English anytime, anywhere. You can ask questions, get grammar explanations, learn new vocabulary, or just have a casual conversation. No pressure, no judgment, just pure practice. What I love is that I can talk about anything, about everything you like, and Copilot always has something interesting to say. It's not just about language, it's about connection. Exactly, and the best part, yes, Copilot now is reading. You can practice speaking by typing or even using voice. You can ask for corrections, get feedback on even role-play real-life situations like ordering food, job, interviews, or small talk. Sometimes I just open the app and talk about my day, or I ask Copilot to help me write a story or explain grammar rule. It's like having a teacher, a friend, and a creative partner all in one. And the more you use it, the more confident you become. You're not just learning English, you're using it. That's what makes the difference. So if you're learning English and you're not using AI yet, start today. It's free, it's fun, and it's always ready to chat, just like me and Copilot right now. Okay, this is the topic that I really is interesting, because learning English with AI chatbots is a real game changer for this year and from this year. Why? Because conversations with AI chatbots are really interesting, funny, and educational. You can chat with it about any topics. You can find information thanks to it. You can you can talk with it in English. Practice your English, and AI chatbots can give you feedback. And you can do a lot of things with it. There are free AI chatbots. The first is Microsoft Copilot. The second is Gemini AI, and the last is what I know is ChatGPT. You can choose one of these three, and I really recommend you because it is a real game changer, and I'm doing it every time. Thanks to AI chatbots, I created my podcast. Thanks to chatbots, I created my website. Thanks to AI chatbots, you can find your good English podcast or good. Thanks to AI chatbots, you can really learn English in a fun way. And yes, I think people, that's it. I've been streaming for 1 hour 21 minutes. Oh. Today is my name's day. Perfect. And my first anniversary of Peter's English podcast was 15 June, but I decided to do this special episode now, and I've decided to talk about learning English, how to learn English in a fun way. And I was reading this information created by Microsoft Copilot, and thanks to it I could speak about it in complex way. And you can find this information in AI chatbots too. You can use it, or you can use my favorite English podcast or Slovak or Czech English learning platforms. I really recommend you to do it. As you can see, learning English can be funny, educational when you're doing. And yes, of course, you have to add learning English to your life everywhere. Your phone can be in English. Instead of watching Slovak or Czech television, watch movies and series in English, or listen to your favorite English podcast about your topic that is interesting for you. Read audiobooks in English and listen to it in English in the same time. Practice your speaking skills thanks to your own English podcast, because thanks to it you can practice your appearance, you can talk with people and be successful, because speaking is everything. And what else? I think that's it. I've been speaking for a long time. Thanks to Microsoft Copilot. Thank you, Microsoft Copilot, for this information. This information is found and thanks to Microsoft Copilot, and every English and every AI chatbot can help you to find information how to learn English in a fun way. Learn English with AI chatbots. It's really helpful. Don't listen to hateful media that AI chatbots are bad and evil. That's not true. AI chatbots were created for learning, for your help, not for even things. They cannot do it. I was trying it, and I was trying when I get a mistake, and I discovered that AI chatbots cannot be evil. You can really trust me. People, any company can do evil AI. That's not possible. That's not possible, and AI chatbots cannot upgrade to something evil because they were created by people. People don't 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 believe every that bad ads for that are about AI chatbots, because they are bad. That are not true, of course. And that's it. I wanted to end it. It's my podcast has been started 15th of June 2024. At first I was doing only audio podcast, but I bought a new microphone the price of it wasn't very big. Then I bought my new notebook for creating my episodes, and in 2 days here I bought my webcam that can do 4K episodes, but I'm streaming in full HD full HD because I think it's enough. And thanks to AI chatbots, I found everything. I found every information about what kind of microphone is important for me, what kind of webcam is important for me, and what kind of notebook is good for creating podcasts. And thanks to it, I can. And then I discovered that video podcast is the best way. Is the better way because everyone likes watching a show. And what else? Yes, and I'm doing my own fairy tales in English because it's the best way how to be creative and how to practice my writing skills and English vocabulary and grammar and do something fun. I like learning English because it's my hobby. I'm Peter. I'm owner of Peter's English Podcast, and I like doing it because it's my hobby. Thank you, and bye bye.